Hello everybody, this is Steve from Old Boy Moto. Well, g'day everyone and welcome back to the channel on this freezing cold winter sunny day. It is absolutely freezing, and I'm down in the Woolshed Valley and I've just pulled over and I'm going to light a fire and try and get warm and just have a little bit of a relax. I might have some lunch and stuff. But what I thought I might do today is just do a review on the DR650. I've done quite a few Ks since I've had it, and I thought I'd just go over what I like about it and what I don't like about it. It's been a fantastic bike so far, I must say that. Especially for what I've been doing. If you've been watching the videos, you'll know that I've been exploring the Woolshed Valley and looking for the Kelly Caves and the Police Cave, which I set out to try and find this morning, but I left my run too late. I realised that I'd gotten down here too late. Yeah, slept in this morning, this old boy did, and so I didn't get down here till 11 o'clock. And I really need at least 3 or 4 hours of just time walking around. Otherwise, it's just not going to be worth it. I won't get out of the place till dark, and that's a little bit risky. So what I'll do is I'll get my fire going and get a little bit of lunch happening, and then I'll have a look at the bike and go over what I like about the DR650 and what I don't. Righto, so I've got a bit of a fire going now. How about this? I've come down here and someone has cut a bit of firewood, you know, like, that's just great, you know, and left it here for other people to use. Isn't that terrific? That still happens in the Aussie bush. Thank God for that. Yeah, well guys, I just having a bit of a feed here. It's really nice. Down here on the creek. This is Reedy Creek in the Woolshed Valley, and I've got myself a bit of a fire going, and you know, it's just wonderful. This Suzuki DR650 has opened up a whole new world for me. You know, now being at my age, I'm semi-retired, so to speak, and it's just been wonderful to be able to get on the bike and explore the area. Most of you subscribers that have watched my video have seen what I've done with the bike. You know, it's just opened everything up for me. I love getting out on the bike, and because the bike handles these tracks so well, it's just made it a joy. So anyway, I'm just going to have this lovely soup. It's called congee. I've never had it before, and it's like an Asian soup. It's really nice. Singapore congee it's called, if you ever come across it. So I'm just going to relax, let my mind wander a little bit, and enjoy this sunshine, because it's not very warm. I'm feeling the heat off that fire, which is good. You know, we've had some below zero starts, and that's what kept me in bed this morning. I just couldn't get my ass out of bed. Terrible. That's what happens when you got a lot of time on your hands. But anyway, I'll have my lunch and I'll do a bit of a review on the DR650 for you. And the review will be only on my experiences. Yeah, well guys, after slopping all my Singapore congee all over myself and everything else, I managed to get most of it down. So I'm feeling a little bit better. I actually ran out of gas, and so I've resorted to the old method, because I'm trying to make a cup of coffee. But anyway, while that's boiling, or trying to boil, I might just come over here to the bike and just give you a rundown of the things that I think are good about it, and the things that I guess I think for myself aren't the greatest. And I think I'll start with this. Look, you know, with the DRs, there's just no room, you know, like, I mean, even with the standard Speedo, everything's just so cramped in there, you know, once you put a screen on and everything else. And that's why I guess sometimes you see DR650s that have completely different dashes, where the owners fabricate their own dash and set it up. And you can see why. It's so painful, especially with you know, a nice thick set of gloves on or something like that. You just can't get in there to turn the bike on and off, and, you know, to lock it and all that. Small gripe, but pain in the bum. Righto, so that's a negative, I suppose. What I will say about this particular bike, the positive that I've found with it, the suspension is just unbelievably good. Now, the suspension was installed by Hoey in South Australia, and they're a motorcycle shop over there that specialise in their own suspensions. And the suspension was set up for 100 kilos, and that has worked out absolutely spot on for myself. I don't weigh that much, I'm 74 kilos, but I do carry a fair bit of stuff. You know, the bags are always full, and the tank bag's always full. I've got 2 tubes full of tools. You know, the panniers are always chock-a-block with stuff, because I like to have my comforts, you know. I like to have the gear I want when I'm camping and stuff like that. So for me, it's absolutely perfect. With this particular weight, with me on it, the bike just seems to glide along. You know, it just eats up the ruts and potholes and everything else that are on the dirt tracks that are around here. It's just fantastic. I can't see the standard suspension doing so well. And if you like a mushy, soft suspension, well, that's what you'll get with the standard DR suspension. And I'm aware that most people decide to change it out. Love the suspension. What else? I love the seat. This Saddleman Pro Cycle seat. You can just sit on it for hours. You know, it's very comfortable. It's flat, so you can slide up and down on it. And it's wide, so, you know, it cushions your bum. It's just a ripper. Beautiful. Didn't take long to boil at all. I'm just having a nice cup of coffee now. Have a look at the day. It's just a beautiful day. You know, we're in the middle of winter. Plenty of water in the creek. Beautiful. Yeah, so back to the bike. What else do I like about it? Okay, so the tyres that were on this, I was unsure about these tyres. These are Pirellis, and they've got a wide track on them, just there. They're very big, wide blocks. And I've done a fair few Ks now. I've done about 3,500 kilometres since I bought it. And I thought these would wear pretty quickly. On the bitumen, they don't. These are actually pretty good tyres for the bitumen, and they offer you a fair bit of grip in on off-road. But I'll tell you what, they are not great for mud. They tend to slide out on you a fair bit. I think that's a given, really, that knobbies are the go for mud. The front tyre, no problem at all. It seems to hang on really well, whether on bitumen or mud, and it's a Michelin. What's the brand on it? Michelin, I don't know, is it an Anarchy? I don't know. Anyway, you might be able to tell by the tread what it is. That's getting a bit worn, especially the centre block is getting a bit worn. It's probably not going to hang up as good as the Pirelli on the bitumen, but to be honest, I do more off-road, well, when I say off-road, gravel road, than I do on the bitumen with this bike, and that was the whole reason I bought it. So for what I'm doing, that is a really good combination, and the rear tyre is going to give me a little bit more on the bitumen, so that's pretty good. Actually, in 3000 I haven't noticed anywhere at all in that back tyre, so that's pretty good. Got to have milk with coffee. Yeah, so as you can see, I've named the bike and I've got a mascot on it now. That's Chugger. And just old school guys like us do shit like that. So the windscreen is by a company called Windscreens for Bikes, and that is the best windscreen that I have ever ridden with. It's not pretentious. It's not going to take the wind off your head, but what it's good for is it doesn't give you any buffeting whatsoever. You know, the wind's in your face, yep, fair enough, but that gives you a fair bit of protection right up to your neck, on your chest, and you know, the middle of your body is protected. You're not getting any wind, and it works really, really well. I think, well, it would have to be the design, and the way it's designed, it flicks the wind up, and the way it's working, any buffeting's going straight over your head, and it works really well. So there it is, windscreens for bikes. I would say that they'd have different lengths. So I'm a 5'8", and that suits me perfectly. Now I should get onto the subject of gearing, you know, front and rear sprocket. I don't want to start a World War III on this, but I've found, for what I'm doing, a 14 on the front and a 46 on the rear is just pretty good. I've found myself not slipping the clutch anymore, you know, when I'm getting into steep stuff or where I've got to slow right down. You know, when I bought the bike, it had a 15, so it was 15/46, and it was great on the highway, but I was slipping the clutch way too much just on the slow stuff. So I actually did buy a 14 and a 13. If it was going to get any more serious and any steeper, I'd probably go for a 13 and change it out on the trail. And going back to the highway, if I was going to do a lot of stuff on the highway, I'd put the 15 back on without a doubt. Okay, the Safari tank. What can I say? You know, I'm getting probably up to 635 Ks out of one tank. That's pretty good going. You know, that's going to get you a long way up the track if it's full. The downside of it, when you're doing slow stuff and you've got a full tank, you can really feel it. It is heavy. You know, you've got more of a risk of going over. So what I do is I plan when I'm doing these types of tracks and I'm not far from home. There's only 6 litres of fuel in it, so it's as light as anything. So you just need to plan where you're going and know how much fuel you're going to use, and it's not an issue. But you know, for the long haul, that's just a cracker. You know, you don't have to worry about running out of fuel. You work out where you're going and away you go. These Wolfman panniers, I'm just absolutely wrapped in them. What happens is, when you put your gear in them, they actually stay open because they've got in the side here, I don't know if you can see that, but they've got just a very simple plastic liner system that hold the bag open. Whether they're empty or full, it'll hold them open. So when you go to put stuff in it, you can just drop it in because it's being held open for you. There's more than enough straps and adjustments on them. I hardly ever use them because I've always got my panniers full anyway. They're really durable. I've brushed into trees and done all sorts of things and managed not to rip them open so far. And if you really try hard with this little liner here, if you push all the air out and roll it up tightly, you can actually push all the air out, and it's literally airtight as well as waterproof. Really good, really good stuff. And just a pleasure to have them on the bike, really. Same with the tank bag. It could be a little bit bigger, but then again, you know, that's just me because I want to carry more shit, you know. All right, I really need to give B&B a bit of a rap here because they make such beautiful racks. You know, that's so heavy duty, that plate and the rack itself, so I'm really wrapped in the B&B stuff on it. Also, I would never be without this bash plate. That's a B&B bash plate, and I don't care whether you've got a B&B or whatever you've got, you really do need a bash plate on the bike. After riding 3,500 k's on the gravel roads, I reckon I've heard it being hit by stones that many times, and I mean decent whacks that are coming off the front wheel. And same goes for the oil cooler. I reckon I've heard the oil cooler being hit a few times, but the bottom bash plate is just a ripper. Yeah, so if you bottom the bike out, you got no problems. It'll just slide along that, and you won't need to tear the bottom of the arse out of the bike. So very happy with all those additions there. They work, you know, they're on there for a reason. They're very functional. Okay, got me cup of coffee. I'm a happy chappy. Yeah, so finally guys, I should really mention how happy I am with the performance of the bike. When I first got it, it was a little bit of a pain in the bum. It was hard to start, especially when it was cold and then it wouldn't idle. Once it was warmed up, you'd take it for a ride, and it was popping like crazy, bang, bang, bang. So I got stuck into the jet there and tuned the bike, tuned it up, and got rid of the popping, and everything just seemed to sort itself out. The bike hadn't been ridden very much as well when I first bought it, and I've been riding it on a regular basis. I think that makes all the difference. So with that McKinney carby in there, the TM40 pumper, and you know, the Pro-Cycle pipe and the GSXR muffler, it's really made the difference. It's a perfect match. The airbox has been opened up, and performance is just unbelievable. You crack it open and it just goes. So that's been really, really good. It's been a joy to ride. Now, finally, the performance of the bike itself, without worrying about all the stuff that's bolted on. They're just great. They're just great. You know, look, you can kill them if you really want to be a bastard to it. You will kill it, but it will take a lot of doing. These things are so robust. You can really give them a hard time, and they'll stand up to it. That'll never happen with me. This bike here, the way I ride it, it'll last me until I finish riding, you know, till I stop riding. Because I spare the bike. I'm not hard on the throttle. You know, I'm of an age now where I'm looking after my health. I'm not, you know, worried about proving anything. So it is a fantastic bike. If anyone's thinking of doing what I'm doing, and you're welcome to have a look at my other videos, and the places I go and that sort of thing, the stuff I carry, this is the bike to do it. Unless you're a bit of a shorter rider and you're under 70 kilos or something like that, where you can't hold up a bike that weighs 150 kilos, unladen that is, 150. It'll be way more than that with what I've got on it. But yeah, look, you'd go for something smaller, but this is the bike to do it on. They just are so bloody reliable, and you know, you hit the button, you know, the starter motor sounds like a chook. Don't worry about it, it'll get you going. You can push start them fairly easily. You know, they're just such a reliable, good thing. I'm absolutely wrapped in this bike. At the start, when I first got it, I wasn't sure whether it was going to suit me and whether I'd hang on to it, but it's going nowhere. I'm going to use this bike for a very, very long time. Well, there you go, guys. If you were waiting for any more negatives, you're not going to get them, because I'm really, really happy with it. That was the only thing that I have an issue with, and that's the cramped space near the ignition switch. Otherwise, it's a cracker. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next video.